Seachem dealer. Their staff are all certified Seachem specialists. Gulf Coast Aquarium can install, design, maintain, and finance your own piece of the Gulf. Gulf Coast Aquarium, powered by Seachem, with over 40 years as a U.S.-based manufacturer of quality aquarium products. Online at GulfCoastAquarium.com. Gulf Coast Aquarium, where it's more than just a tank.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and high dues.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
You're home to the NFL. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning here in the Florida Panhandle. I am Ryan Mulvey. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. As always, you can listen on 104.3 right here in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also listen live on ESPNPC.com or download our free mobile app if you haven't already. You can just search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida inside the Google Play or the Apple Store. If you haven't been to Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC lately, you've got to get down there. New vehicles in stock, new HD trucks coming in. Hopefully those Tahoes will be coming in shortly as well, because it's still that time of year. It's you gotta have the Tahoe to take the kids to school, right? The line always lines up with all the Tahoes out there. And then Kramer Marine and Outdoor, I know snapper season I think is officially over until sometime in a couple weekends in the fall, but if you need to get your boat back out on the water, you got to go check out Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They are a Yamaha outboard full line dealer. They do have a Yamaha master certified mechanic on staff, and they sell Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and now Skeeter boats. All those awesome bay boats to get you around and fish wherever you need to. And like I mentioned yesterday and last week, they'll come pick your boat up out of the water for you, trailer it to the Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and they'll get it fixed up for you, get you back out on the water. David, you doing all right today behind the glass?
Yes, sir. Just getting ready for college football, getting our schedules ready.
It's August.
To go. Well, yeah, I know, but I got a lot of stuff to get ready before we start playing games.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And don't forget about the ESPN Northwest Florida Fantasy Football Leagues, trying to fill that. Did you get any more since yesterday?
Yeah, I've got 9 spots left here,
Ooh,
so it's coming down to the nitty-gritty. And a couple, actually, I've got 3 people on the waiting list, too, because it was other people trying to put them in and stuff. And the whole point of this isn't about your buddies or me filling leagues.
It's
about the listeners.
Draft.
Well,
yep.
you got to be there for the draft. But that's why, I'm not worried about people texting me privately and be like, oh, what about that league? Like, no, man, this is about the listeners of the station. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to make it to where we're talking about it live on the air, and then they can send their text with their email, and that you're available for August 26th at 11 a.m.
Yeah, absolutely. Right there at Dave & Buster's for the big draft. Looking forward to it. It's really cool. He does a Champions League, which you had to earn your right into the Champions League. And then he does the Inside Drive League and the Afternoon Underdogs Leagues, trying to fill the Coach James Hale.
And confirmed, Coach Hale will be manning his team. He doesn't know if he's going to be available for the draft, but he said, hey, I'll just leave that up to you. I'll let you draft for me, and I'm going to teach him how to play, and he's going to be manning a team.
You're going to teach him how to play?
Yeah, I'm going to try my
risky.
I'm going to try my best.
David, what is this stupid thing? What am I supposed to do here? What does IR mean?
We started talking a little bit about it yesterday. He's like, oh, that's confusing. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fun
You're going to
season,
have to take
Coach.
it one step at a time. That's for sure.
Basically, I'm going to go over to his house every Sunday morning. All right, Coach, this is what we're doing.
Give me your login.
I tried to teach my mom how to do fantasy one year, and it was horrible. It was a wreck.
You don't realize how much is involved in it when until you get with somebody who doesn't know anything about it.
So I ended up just taking over her team and traded all the good players onto mine.
There you go. Yeah, in the same league.
Yeah,
in the
same exact league.
And that is the voice of Remy Graham. He's joining us in studio today. Formerly with Troy basketball, and now you're in the transfer portal trying to find a new landing spot.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I know, really, not to get sentimental, but if not for your dad, we probably wouldn't have came down to Florida. Probably wouldn't have a radio show. Probably wouldn't be talking to you here. Probably wouldn't. My wife probably wouldn't have her own real estate company. So don't want to give your dad too much credit. But
I get that.
He certainly
can't get his ego up too high.
Yeah, it's already pretty high up there. That's for sure. That's how all those Michigan football fans are.
Okay, here we go. Already.
But yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself. You played at South Walton High School right here in the Panhandle, and you were, when I first met you, you were kind of big into football and golf, right?
Yeah, mainly golf. I mean, football I was always into. I never really played it. I didn't play it at all in high school. I played 1 year in middle school, but it's middle school. But yeah, I was always into golf. When I grew up, I was big on it when I was a little kid. I kind of died off starting my freshman year of high school. Kind of just went up in height, and I decided, I might as well put this height to use, get basketball a little bit more. And luckily it paid off. I'm happy.
Well, and just goes to show you, I talk about youth sports all the time on this show, and all the travel. Like, when do you get your kid really going? And for you with basketball, it really didn't get going until you hit that spurt.
Exactly. It was more late for me.
There's no right time is kind of what I think this boils down to.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
If you've got the drive and you've got the skill, and with basketball, obviously the height, you kind of take it to the next spot. But so what's the fall look like? Are you looking to land right now?
Yeah, I'm still surveying the land. I wanted to start a mid last season. I was looking at leaving more so not Troy. Love Troy. It was a great time, great experience. I met some great people there. But more just I wanted to branch out and go to somewhere that I haven't been before. And I was looking at FAU before they decided, make their Final Four run.
Yeah.
So I was looking at transferring there, seeing if I could come be a part of that team. Obviously, it's a little harder now.
Yeah.
Knowing that they only graduated one person, and the two people that entered the draft came out of it to join the team again. So we'll see what happens there, but honestly, anything's on the table at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we've talked to baseball, actually some baseball players from Troy we had on a couple weeks ago, and had a football player at South Alabama, and now cool to have a basketball player to see all the different perspectives. And we talk about the transfer portal and NIL and all that stuff constantly, and this is for you, looking to kind of get out a little more. The transfer portal can certainly be a huge benefit.
100%. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. It's not just it's not just all nay stuff. And so when you were at Troy, was there any? I asked the same question to everybody we have come in.
Yeah.
Were there players on NIL deals and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we had a couple that were more on the NIL side of things. What I always said is for Troy, it's interesting. Every year it kind of is a new team.
Yeah.
So we had this past season, I think we have 3 people, or Troy has about 3 people from that team still on the team.
Gotcha.
So transferring is a big deal, obviously due to NIL and stuff like that. But it's just cool to see because every year Troy always has something new going on inside that locker room. And last year, I enjoyed it every time being a part of it.
I think one of your buddies might be on the line.
Oh, boy.
Nolan, are you out there?
Yep, he is.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll let you take it, Nolan. You doing all right?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Oh, we're doing good. Just hanging out with Remy here in studio.
Yeah, just want to hear some hot takes about Jordan Poole.
Yeah, for getting straight into it. Yeah, they know me as.
Hey, we only got 2 hours, so we might as well dive right into it.
Yeah, they know me as a big Jordan Poole fan, in the NBA. I think he already knows that. He's just trying to call in and get his name out. But hi, Nolan.
Is he going to turn the Wizards around?
Say again?
Is it going to turn the Wizards around?
I think so. I think we're going to be. I think we, being Wizards fan now,
Yeah.
I think we're going to be great.
All right,
You know,
we'll see about
he's a Knicks fan, so he's got different ideas.
Oh, there you go.
No, bummer.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Me and Patrick Ewing have the same birthday. Little fun
Really?
fact there.
Oh,
when you
look
said
at that.
Knicks, it made me think of Patrick Ewing,
Yeah,
and then that's
yeah.
where I went with that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
yep.
I think Wizards will be good this season. No, I got high hopes.
I think
That's
Wizards
cool.
don't make the play-in.
I could agree the playoffs more or less, but
I keep forgetting about that play-in game now.
yeah, I know it's yeah. I don't know how to feel about it.
certainly different. What do you think about this past NBA season?
Yeah, you
Kind of
know,
went as expected, so to speak, except
Yeah,
for the Heat and
I
their
mean,
deep run.
Yeah, he always have a good team. I always think they're going to do something eventually. I didn't expect it, come from an 8th seed, winning the way in the play-in and then making the run they did. I would like to see them, win the championship this past year. I love Jimmy Butler. He gives his heart out every time. Nuggets, obviously, they just had Jokic, and it just went according to plan.
What do you think about Victor Wembanyama?
I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good. Obviously, people can say injuries, he's too skinny. But, Kevin Durant. But I think when you have a talent that size, that fast, and, with all his agility, all his shooting, it's just hard to beat out someone like that, especially this day and age whenever everybody's just bigger now and you can shoot the ball, dribble. So I think he's going to be really good. And,
Yeah. What do you think, Nolan?
Could you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Victor Wembanyama, what do you think about him for the league? You think he's going to do really well, or you think what everybody's kind of talking about, is he big? Not big enough, but is he physically strong enough to handle the NBA? Even though he came out and said once he played in a couple of G League games that the NBA wasn't as rough, as the is it the French league that he played in? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the Metropolitan something. So we all saw the first game. He didn't score any points and said, I have no idea what I was doing out there. Next game he comes out, has 25, 10, and 5 blocks. All I got to say, he's going to look great in a New York Knicks jersey in about 4 years. When his rookie contract expires.
Oh, my God.
Man.
He's going to come to the mecca of basketball and just change New York for the better.
What's the affiliation with the Knicks, Nolan? You from that neck of the woods?
Yeah, I was born in Long Island.
Okay.
Just got to claim the Knicks. We're going to win it all next year. I see Jalen Brunson having an MVP caliber season. R.J. Barrett, most improved. Emmanuel Quickley, 6th man. And Julius Randle, D-Boy, at bare minimum.
This is absurd.
I don't know how it goes.
What I'm hearing right now is absurd.
I always forget about the Knicks.
Yeah,
and I
they're
grew up in New
forgettable.
Jersey.
They're
They were
forgettable.
right there.
Yeah.
New Jersey's the B team. That's the JV team.
Yeah, I don't care about the Nets. So they're in Brooklyn now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Now I'm a big New Jersey Devils fan, which I know Millie's a big Jack Hughes fan.
Yep.
She's called into the show before.
Yep, I've heard that. I heard that.
She did good. What else you got for us, Nolan, while you got Remy's undivided attention here?
Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Actually. You're aware that Remy's an Eagles fan, right? Jalen Hurts?
Yes, unfortunately.
So I have a statistic, actually, I want to bring up that came to my attention.
Bring it up, because I'm a Niners fan, so yeah.
It's about Tyrod Taylor and Jalen Hurts, their first 40 games started. So I'm gonna read you out these stats. Tyrod Taylor, 62% completion rate. Jalen Hurts, 62% completion rate. Passing yards, Tyrod Taylor, 8,900. Jalen Hurts, 79. The win totals are a little different, but the stats are the complete same. So is it safe to say Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback?
I'm gonna say no.
I don't
Even
think
though
so.
I despise the Eagles, especially grew up in New Jersey, but I think you're comparing apples to oranges there.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Throw some rushing yards in there too. I think Jalen Hurts.
I could pull up the rushing yards.
I'm sure. Yeah, pull it up. But I think Jalen Hurts impacts the game much more.
I think his inside the locker room presence too is so much different.
He's a leader.
Yeah, he's a born leader.
Yeah, so
got that from his
Tyrod
time in
Taylor.
Oklahoma.
No.
Yeah, he had 1,600 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts, 1,800. So yeah, 200. That's fair. I'll give it to him. But their fantasy points, I heard you guys talking about fantasy earlier. It's only about 20-point differential.
What about total touchdowns? You got that one there?
Total touchdowns?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyrod Taylor had 51 passing touchdowns. Hurts, 44. Hurts had 26 rushing touchdowns. Tyrod Taylor 14.
Yeah, there we go.
There's where he's
I mean, I'm
impacting
saying,
the game.
Yep.
The quarterback passing. We don't need the running. Just play the position pure.
But that's you don't win games that way.
Name the only mobile quarterback that comes to the top of my head that wins was Patrick Mahomes. Greatest quarterback of all time.
Steve Young. Tom Brady.
Steve Young.
He was a mobile quarterback. He invented the mobile quarterback.
Started it all out.
Sorry.
Nobody thinks Steve Young. We just think immediately Joe Montana, great 49 quarterbacks.
It's Tom Brady because he wasn't mobile. You're talking about system quarterbacks. You could say Tom Brady was a system quarterback.
But he went to go win one in Tampa Bay.
In the same system. Strong defense, decent running game, a lot of short intermediate routes, and then opened it up with Evans.
That just sounds like a play style.
That's what a system. That's kind of just what a system quarterback is. Just the same.
Yep.
No, the system makes him play like that. He's always played like that, Look, I have a James. You want to talk? Here, this is my friend James.
Hi, James.
Remy, you know James?
Yes, I do know James.
How's it going?
How are you, James?
Good. I have nothing to say, but
we got to head out. We're going to hit some balls at the range.
Nice. Have fun there.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. I'll see you later, Remy. Thank you, guys.
See you. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. We appreciate y'all. Yeah, coming out of left field with the Jalen Hurts and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
Was that a career comparison?
40 games.
Oh, he said 40 games. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed the criteria there.
Yeah. He showed me that statistic before, and I just always play it down because it's just.
Well, it's you're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Well, how many times has Tyrod Taylor played in the NFC Championship?
Exactly.
So, great stat, and I love people, trying to take the stats.
He probably was a really good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But,
even what was it? 2 years ago. Well, no, that's when he got the needle to the lung and then had to get out of there. But yeah, Tyrod Taylor is definitely a fun quarterback to watch. But when it comes to first mobile quarterback, though, I think
Randall Cunningham,
Fran Tarkenton
for
the Vikings way back.
I just had to throw in a Niner there.
Something Niners.
That's all I had to do because he was talking about the Eagles. But I don't know if you guys saw it was early this morning, but Team USA disappointing tie. You got the FIFA World Cup going on, and they ended up tying. I want to say Portugal 0-0, which if you were betting, I think USA was like minus 410 and a draw was like plus 750 or something like that.
I smash that one.
I got a good guess, David, that it's Allen on the line. Nope. Okay, good. Well, I'm anxious to see what the whiteboard said. Evan. Oh, I think I know who this is. Evan, how are you doing?
I think I know who this is.
Okay, this is not an Evan from... Look, you come on the show and the phone lines just start lighting
What's up, Evan?
Hopefully Evan's not bringing a Tyrod Taylor, Jalen Hurts comparison.
No, not this time.
What do you got for us, Evan? Or what do you got for Remy? Or for us in general?
Honestly, not much. I wanted to ask you personally, do you cover NBA as much as you do with NFL?
We did a little bit when the season was still going on. We had a regular caller, Doc A. He was an NBA writer for 22 years. NBA really isn't my cup of tea, but we had some guests that would talk at length about it, especially when we were in the playoffs.
Okay, that's cool. We can stick with the NFL. I'm wondering, what do you think about the Chicago Bears season? I came from Chicago, so I'm a big Justin Fields guy. I'm just wondering what your take on the team this year is with some of the new pickups.
Yeah, I think they're building some good receivers around him for sure. Interesting some of the running back moves they made, but they still ended up with the number 1 draft pick, even though he had an awesome season on the ground. Hopefully, they start utilizing the pass and the run a little more to keep teams up. But they're in a tough division. With the Lions doing as well as they are, and then the Vikings.
Love the head coach there.
He's fantastic. I already wanted to have a real lion on the sideline or something like that.
My dad loves him too.
Oh yeah, it's what they've been waiting for forever.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, it's a tougher division. The Packers now are probably the worst team in the division just because of the quarterback change. It'll be interesting to see if Jordan Love actually comes to fruition or not. But you never know. We won't know until But I think the Bears are going to have a good year. I would probably put it at maybe if they 8 wins would be a great year for them. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
What do you think, Evan?
No, I would agree for sure. We obviously had a rough pass, and we kind of haven't really got anything figured out. But I think give it another year or two. I think we could slowly rebuild and kind of get to work with the guys some of our newer guys and let Justin Fields play a little bit more. Get some confidence in the arena. I'm not sure. Did they move from Wrigley to another stadium? I know they were talking about moving.
Soldier Field.
Soldier, yeah. They're still at Soldier. They're going to be building a stadium in Arlington Heights.
Yep.
That's right.
There's a lot of new NFL stadiums coming. But yeah, I mean,
one guy to be excited about, though, if you're Chicago Bears, is going to be Roschon Johnson, man. That guy is a stud, and you guys got a great running back room if Khalil Herbert stays healthy. I love Deontay Foreman, and then all you need to see from Justin Fields is more progress, especially when it comes through the air. I think Mobley, the guy, is one of a kind to an extent, but if the chemistry between DJ Moore and Justin Fields is what we're hearing out of training camp right now, it's going to be. I think you can look at 6 to 8 wins, and that is extremely good progress, and it just bodes well for the future of the Chicago Bears.
But I'm just glad that they stuck with Fields, because I know there was some talk they were going to trade him and try to get somebody else. But
I see Fields. There's a lot of hurts I see in Fields. It just depends if Fields can make the leap to throwing just like Jalen Hurts did. Yeah. If Fields could get that, accuracy in there, and I think it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and how is he? I don't really know how he is as a leader on the field. That's true. That's a tough one too, and I think because of Jalen Hurts and where he came from, and he always had to be kind of that leader. And when you have to get put on the bench, that really molds you as an even better person out there on the field.
Would be interesting to see if Fields had a wide receiving core like Jalen Hurts.
Oh, that would be good. That would change.
Evan, we got our first break coming up. If you want to give us a call later or not. If not, we got to jump on this quick break. Thanks for calling in.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
See you, Evan.
Absolutely. Take care. All right, you're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The Inside Drive. Ryan Mulvey, middays, 11 to 1 inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. The latest reactions to the biggest stories happening right now. Plus, interviews, sports betting, and your calls.
You got to be pleased with that.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a gentle breeze out of the west-southwest, around 11 miles per hour and temps near 92. We will have mostly clear skies tonight and be quite warm, 82. And a variety of some sun and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and a high 90. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you ready for Panama City's best pizza? Then check out the new Guru's Pizza 786. They don't do just pizza. They also serve wings, pasta, calzones, salads, sandwiches, and more. Guru's Pizza 786 has 50-plus Indian and Italian pizza varieties. They're open Monday through Thursday until midnight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery are available. Guru's Pizza 786, 7806 Front Beach Road. Call 850-588-5055. Better quality and better taste.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year. Which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue? Then tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Although Jay is not here today, I know he's getting a nice little break with his kids up there in Georgia. He's got his fall junior development program starting in late August. You probably got an email if you're in his list. If you haven't, you can reach out to us at the golf shop. That's going to be every Monday starting August 28th from 4 to 5 p.m. There's putting, there's full swing, there's on course, there's chipping, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and he's kind of just pivoting what he was doing from the summer camps that I know you used to be involved in some of the summer camps out there at Bay
Great
Point.
times.
Another caller on the line. I don't know if you know Jacob or not. Jacob, are you out there?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Jacob?
I'm doing great. How are we doing this morning?
Oh, having fun, hanging out
good,
here
yeah.
on the Inside
No
Drive.
complaints.
What I really wanted to get into is this Florida Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback competition, Kyle Trask, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
I personally a big fan of Kyle Trask. I think the hype around him really died out when they brought Brady in, and I did not see a need for Baker to be in there at all. I think we forget how much of a dog Kyle Trask was, especially in his last year at Florida. The only real receiver he had was Kadarius Toney. I mean, the dude threw for 4,200 yards, 43 touchdowns, 8 picks. And in that SEC conference, I mean, sounds like he's got the stuff to me.
So who starts for the Bucs?
The way it looks, I think they're going to just take the safe route and go Baker. I mean, they don't have much of a season to begin with. I see them at a 7-win max. But I think Baker goes in there within the first 4 games, screws up, and I think they stick Trask in there and give him a shot.
I kind of see that happening, too.
Yeah, I was going to ask how short you think that leash is with Baker. I mean, it's always been short everywhere he's gone, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, and Kyle Trask got a whole year to study under one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time,
Can't
too.
complain,
So it'd be interesting to see. Vegas has got him at 6.5 wins. So you thinking the over on that one?
I mean, it could always go either way, especially with their defense. I mean, we've seen them, look like the 85 Bears, and we've also seen them look like a junior varsity team, especially last year. I know a lot of guys were hurt, a lot of guys moved around. That defensive line coming back, especially that O-line, Vita Beta being back in the lineup, is huge for them. But, I mean, and all credit to Baker, hasn't always had the best position-wise regarding, like, his teams, especially in Cleveland. But then, I mean, we saw him with the Rams go out there and ball out when he needed to.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah,
2 days worth of work and then leads the comeback down the field. And
I didn't expect that to happen.
They're kind of playing a little backyard football, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, having Mike Edwards, Russell Gage, and Chris Godwin there as your starting three, he's definitely got some weapons to throw at. What do you think about the running back situation there? I mean, obviously, Leonard Fournette is now gone, and you got Rashad White and Chase Edmonds. So what do you think about that running back room?
I have a lot of hope in Rashad White. Last year they kind of went with Fournette as kind of big setback kind of guy, shoving him in every couple yards you need. I think it was an extremely good move to ship him off. Dude's getting kind of old. He doesn't really fit their play style anymore, especially in the midst of trying to find a new quarterback and kind of reset what this offense is going to look like. The last thing you kind of need is your old leading running back. I think it was perfect time to get in there and develop a new guy, especially someone who seems to be a lot more shiftier in the backfield.
Yeah, definitely. I think the addition of Chase Edmonds from Denver is going to be a good one for him. So who wins the division? Who wins the very new-looked NFC South? I think you got 4 new starting quarterbacks?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I know 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I want to hand it to the Saints, I'm not going to lie.
Experience,
Yeah,
good
I
defense.
like Derek Carr coming in, filling in with Michael
That defense is coming in juice. The only other team I'd really watch for in there is Carolina. I think they're going to be sneaky this year.
You think Bryce Young?
Bryce Young scares me. I don't know. His size scares me for a little bit, but I could see it working out though. I could see it working out there.
It's going to be an interesting division this year, that's for sure. I mean, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, or Kyle Trask, Bryce Young, and then why am I drawing a huge blank on the 4th team? I don't know why, but
You said the Falcons?
No, I didn't say Desmond Ritter. Yeah.
Desmond Ritter, Taylor Heineke.
Heineke's going to be starting by week 4.
Kind of similar to that Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask situation, which I'm right there with you. Jake, I would definitely. I think Baker Mayfield is going to get the start, but if I'm the head coach, I'm running with Kyle Trask just to see what we got. I'd rather start with the fresh blood and then move into the more experience, but that's not how they do it in the NFL, and it makes sense though because you
want to take the safe route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no experience, but I mean, we've all experienced Baker Mayfield, and what has he done long term success wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, has he been in a spot to be able to be successful?
He's better when he's fresh off a plane.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Just walking right off and putting on the helmet and going. That's for sure. But all right, so give me your order. Saints winning the division. Who do you think finishes second? The Bucs, or you think the Panthers?
Probably the Panthers. And I think it's just going to be a shootout for who doesn't come in last between them and the Falcons.
Falcons are going to have a tough year. That's
going to be rough.
We'll see how Bijan does, but rookie running back in there. Yeah. Let me see what.
I think it's pretty crucial that Tampa doesn't come dead last too. I mean, Todd Bowles came in and was not the head coach everyone expected he was going to be. I know he has a big respect around that locker room, especially coming off that Super Bowl year, but he's got to hand that defense. The offense back off to the offensive coordinator. I know he was calling a lot of shots last year, but I think Bowles needs to stick with running the defense. Great head coach, but it just did not perform up to par last year.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly things can change in 2 years with some players moving around and all that stuff. I want to get my odds on the NFC South division and see what Vegas.
Probably be the Saints.
I would definitely think it would be the Saints.
Saints more than likely are going to be a very heavy favorite. I would say
Saints are plus 130. The Falcons are plus 240.
Oh wow!
And then the Panthers are plus 400, and then the Bucs hanging out down there at plus 850.
Dang.
Yeah, the Falcons. They have the over under. Vegas has the over under at 8.5 for the Falcons.
Well, they had one of those off seasons though that a lot of people weren't paying attention to, where they're bringing in some veterans, and if it works out, I mean, no one expected even Marcus Mariota and the Falcons last year to do what they were doing and vying for the division late into the season, and then eventually they parted ways. Well, the whole situation with Mariota and Desmond Ritter, they picked Ritter. Mariota elects to go get surgery, walks away from the team, all that good stuff. But still, I mean, there were some flashes from them. So if they're even better, and if we see Kyle Pitts this year turn into what we've all expected him from Florida, then Desmond Ritter or Taylor Heineke could have a career-type year. I'm not saying MVP or anything like that, but
it'd be big for the Falcons.
Yeah, it'd be huge for the Falcons.
Well, they got Scotty Miller now too. He came over from the Buccaneers, and Drake London still had a great season last year, and then Mac Hollins came over from Las Vegas. So a couple rookies coming in too as well. And then the big question is Bijan Robinson. Yeah. Is he who everybody thinks he is? I mean, you got Tyler Algier backing him up, and Cordell Patterson, who had a great year last year, especially in fantasy when you needed an extra.
I mean, I could see him having like Ezekiel Elliott rookie season. Lead the league in rushing and all that. However, I just think that they're going to just hand the ball off to him a lot. I could see him possibly getting hurt. I don't want to say knock on wood, but Falcons, I just have a feeling they're just going to overuse him. He's getting all these flashy plays in preseason or spring. Not spring, what is it?
Training camp.
Training camp, yeah. Drawing a blank there.
Nah, you're good.
And I don't know. I'm nervous on that. However, I think he's going to be good whenever he fills into that Falcons role.
So let me ask both of y'all this. What do you think about the current situation with running backs in the NFL? Do you think they got paid too much a few years ago, and now we're kind of facing the repercussions of that? Or what are y'all's opinions on this whole situation?
For me, it's that the running back role is so replaceable. Just take fantasy, for example. Star guy goes out, you're immediately trying to pick up the backup, and he'll perform just as good almost 100% of the time. I think there's exceptions for a few, like Derrick Henry, CMC, Saquon, just getting his new contract. I mean, granted, there's exceptions. However, I still think, running back role is so replaceable this day and age. But and especially, I mean, running back by committee, you look at the Chiefs and Eagles. There's not a clear back there.
Once we talked about last week too. I mean, the Patriots went on their dynasty and name one of the
LeGarrette Blount's the only thing I could think of,
and it's you had Corey Dillon early on. But other than that, it was always running back by committee. A lot of guys catch it out of the backfield.
It works.
Same thing with the Chiefs. It's getting back to I forget who it was talking about system quarterbacks. Certainly not system quarterbacks, but maybe system running back rooms. What do you think? Is Jacob still on?
Yeah.
What do you think about the running back situation?
I'm entirely with Remy on this. It seems a lot more offensive line based now. I mean, we still have the big bruisers, like we were saying, Leonard Fournette, just shove it up the middle. But we're getting to a point where we're not seeing a lot of running back and forth behind the line of scrimmage and guys making plays for themselves. It's more of if you're not getting that gap open, then not a whole lot is happening. I know we saw that a lot with the Giants, especially with Saquon, which, you kind of have to blame for all the injuries because the dude never got a chance half the time. But it's really, I feel it's a lot more offensive line based now. So if a guy goes down, your next guy up has just as much of an opportunity to go make a play, depending on who you got up front in the trench.
Yeah, for sure. And you're seeing a lot more zone running schemes nowadays where offensive linemen are blocking a zone in a direction more so than just lining up and blocking the defensive end or lineman right in front of you. So I think a lot more running backs can benefit in that type of scheme versus, like you were saying, the Fournettes, the Derrick Henrys that just get the ball and they have to make their own hole and run hard. Anything else you got for us, Jacob, before we got to jump off?
No, that's all for me, man. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for calling. We appreciate you very much.
All right, have a good one, guys.
There he is. We got Mr. Allen on the line now. Alan, you there?
Yeah, man, coming through like a Dak interception.
Oh, man, did you see that? I don't know if you sent that text. Did you see that one he threw in? I don't know if it was yesterday.
So underthrown.
I mean, it was
disgusting.
I could have. DJ Davy Crockett would have picked that one off in flag football.
I don't even know what he's throwing at.
The safety, apparently.
Even the safety running back with the interception, he was like, come on, Dak. And I mean, it was rough.
They just need to ban him from throwing outside the numbers and vertically.
Yeah.
He just can't do it now for some reason.
Yeah, I wonder what the over-under is on interceptions, because I'd definitely take the over.
Yeah, I would too.
He said 10. I took the over.
I mean, that's sad when you as a quarterback saying you're going to throw 10 picks. I didn't even think about it that way. Oh, man. Man, what else you got for us today, Alan?
I was going to say, just to put it into perspective, last year I think he had like 15 in like 12 games or something.
Yeah, because
he was injured for part of it.
He missed 6 games, I think, and he still threw a ton. I don't know what that all is. What the cause of that is? I have no idea.
I don't want to stick up for him like this, but there was a few of them that were tipped, by the wide receivers and all that stuff. But still, we need to see a lot better from Dak this year.
No, we don't.
Especially you over there, Ryan.
No, we don't. I don't want to see anything more from Dak.
I don't either.
I can't wait till whatever.
Being an Eagles fan, I like it. I like the look of Dak right now, throwing all these picks.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Remy's with us today, Alan. He's a big UFC and boxing guy, so I figured I'd let you guys. I didn't talk about it at all yesterday, but UFC from this past weekend, I let you guys talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit trouble hearing you guys volume-wise. I don't know if it's my phone or what, but you said the guy that's the UFC guy's here.
Yeah, Remy's with us. He's
okay. How you doing, Remy?
I'm doing good. How are you, man?
This is Alan. He's a gambling expert.
Okay.
He's in Virginia. He calls us all the time, so we appreciate his contributions.
Yeah.
I'm a real degenerate.
Yes. You were the OG degenerate.
The OG one.
But yeah, I'll let you guys recap that UFC fight just a little bit. And I had a tough time, I think I said it yesterday, I had a tough time actually, unless you watched it, finding a video of the kick. It just seemed like they didn't show it a whole lot. And then I finally saw it, and maybe that's why they didn't show it.
Yeah, I mean, set up beautifully. I mean, it was, fake low, go high kick. I mean, standard. You look at, how Usman got knocked out, Salt Lake City too. Salt Lake City, the head kicks, I guess you could say. But it was beautiful. I didn't expect it. I had Poirier coming out there and putting a beating on Gaethje, second round, third round maybe. But I guess Gaethje, I mean, he's slowing down. He's not throwing wild anymore. You know, he's kind of more precise with his striking now. And yeah, I mean, paid off. Look at that.
Yep, got it done. What do you think, Alan?
I always question the business aspect of UFC. Like, how much money did they make off this pay-per-view? Because I mean, the knockouts, man, like they are. Every time I see a UFC knockout, I'm just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
One of the things that stands out to me, though, is like it's a whole lot better to be dropped, with that kind of kick than to take the 9 rounds of punishment that, say, Earl Spence took.
Oh, my gosh,
a lot of fight fans don't understand that.
Yeah.
The brutality of UFC in the moment looks like
it's taking years off your life type of deal. Yeah.
But you would much rather get hit with a spinning backhand or one of those roundhouses
and just be done
with it. Yeah.
Beat on for 9 rounds.
Yeah. Rather than getting 10 seconds, come to your senses and then take the same beating you just had 15 seconds ago. So,
what's your thoughts on some of these guys like Francis, McGregor, like some of the big names in UFC branching out to do these kind of spectacle boxing matches?
Yeah, I mean, Francis, he wants to be paid. I get that. UFC is notorious in the past, for quote-unquote not paying their athletes what they should be paying. But, however, Francis, I kind of look more towards Tyson Fury's side of things. Fury, we all want to see him in the bigger world championship boxing matches. We don't want to see him in these crossover fights with Francis this early, and it's still, I guess, quote-unquote early in Fury's career when it comes to him holding the belts, wanting to fight, like Usyk, Anthony Joshua, and all these people. And it sucks to see him go over and go this route where he's fighting Francis Ngannou just for a payday. I get it, the pay-per-view is going to be massive, but yeah, I like it. Obviously this weekend it's Nate Diaz and then Jake Paul. They're boxing. Yeah. If you would have told me 3 years ago that Nate Diaz was going to be boxing a former YouTube personnel, it's just interesting to see. I'm obviously a fan of it in this aspect that it's different. We don't see we never used to see stuff like this before, and it's bringing a new side of things. But yeah, when it comes to Francis and Fury, that's the one exception that I'm not exactly happy with.
Yeah, I take exception to every time Jake Paul fights. Everybody's like, he's doing so much for boxing. I'm like, he's fighting UFC guys.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not doing anything for boxing. But yeah, Fury, I'm a big traditionalist when it comes to unifications and making sure you are the man. Yeah. There should not be any questions like Crawford.
Exactly.
He's sure. Yep. End of the day, he's the man. He's got all the belts. That's the way you do it. But I kind of saw the writing on the wall when I heard that they offered Usyk 20%. Come on, man.
Yeah, I get that.
No belt holder is taking under 45.
Yeah.
That's just standard business. And for Francis, you got nothing to lose. It's your biggest payday.
Exactly.
But what I don't think people understand how massive Tyson Fury is. He's 6'9", almost 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Even if you hit him clean, you would have to have a Hulk punch to knock him out. To knock him down, Deontay Wilder punches pretty hard, and he knocked him down, but he couldn't knock him out. And he's probably the hardest puncher in combat sports. So,
agreed.
More power to him, but I feel like at some point, man, Dana's going to get fed up with this nonsense.
Yeah, I know. I can definitely see that happening.
It's not good for his brand, and the main thing is you got to have that control. You letting guys go out and branch out and make more money without you, then at some point somebody's going to come along and say they don't need you, which is what happened with Top Rank and Oscar De La Hoya. He was so marketable and making so much money by himself, he just made his own promotional company.
Yep. Hey, Alan, you got time to hang on?
Yeah, I'll hang on.
Okay, cool. And I know when we come back, too, from this break, we have Bailey on the line as well. We're going to see if we can bring everybody in on one thing. I think we can do 2 phone lines now because we're a big deal here at ESPN Northwest Florida. You are listening to The Inside Drive, joined by Remy Graham today, hanging out in studio. We will be right back.
Awesome.
Northwest Florida presents The Blast at Bay Point. Listen to Win Your Tea Time at the legendary Bay Point Golf Club in beautiful Panama City Beach.
You ready to play some high-low?
I'm going to try.
Listen weekdays at 8:40, 12:40, and 5:40 to play high-low for a chance to win 18 holes at Bay Point Golf Club.
I tell you what, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it.
Listen to Win the Blast at Bay Point from ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Sizzling hot weather is here. Time to go shopping in some nice air-conditioned surroundings. I know just the place, that boot store. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here with a scent of real leather. Sweet. The Western surroundings and huge name brand selections will make you want to buy 4 or 5 outfits for the whole family, from the smallest to the largest. And why not? Their prices are the best in the area. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember, God is good all the time. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. Barbaritos lets you say yes to fresh. If you don't know what to eat or where to get it, well, fret no more. Barbaritos is here to help with its healthy menu, offering 7 meals with less than 500 calories. Barbaritos has lots of healthy options made with farm fresh food. Your health and your family's health matters to us. Come eat healthy at Barbaritos, 23rd Street in the Stanford Station Shopping Center near Academy Sports. Barbaritos, food, community, people.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive, live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. We've still got Alan on the line. We also want to bring in Bailey. Bailey, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. Obviously, you know Mr. Remy Graham over here across the table from me.
Yeah, me and Remington have been friends been close friends for a while now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, what do you got for us today? We also got Alan on the line, who is the original gambling degenerate and knows all things gambling and sports. That is for sure.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to kind of talk to Remy about kind of his past at Troy, playing Division II ball in Troy, Alabama.
Division One.
Was that like a jab?
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a jab. It's a
there's a lot of Troy alum that listen here, so be careful with the Troy.
No. My bad. Now, coming from that, playing with those high-level athletes and just being around that, how does that kind of change your perspective on the next-level players, the NBA guys, like coming from Troy and then like knowing how good these guys really are?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, you go from South Walton High School, local public school, and you're used to playing these smaller other high schools, just how high school ball goes. And then you go up a level, to Division I, and you realize that it's just the levels are just insane. Obviously the athletic-wise is just out of this roof. Guys jumping out of the gym, doing things I've never even seen before until I stepped in the practice facility. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool and obviously, scary at the same time, going in there and being used to playing, same high school kids I played against the past 4 years and now playing against these guys that are looking at playing pro and all these other things. So, yeah, no, it's definitely a cool experience, though.
Yeah, that's cool, because you definitely are one of the best players to ever put on the South Walton jersey. And, I was just wondering kind of what your thoughts were on that, going from South Walton to Troy and then Troy to the next level.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good to definitely a fun time back in Troy, stepping in the first day of practice and seeing the athletic difference from South Walton to Troy University.
What would you say is the biggest difference between just your normal day-to-day high school ball versus Division I college ball?
I mean, it's a full-time job. You know, you're like college sports. It's a full-time job. You're waking up, you're doing something college ball related. Afternoon, something college ball related. In the evening, something college basketball related. So I guess just the hours are the main part of it. You know, it's always different. It takes up, instead of high school ball, it takes up a few hours a day. College ball, it takes up every hour, basically every day. And honestly, for me, the biggest thing is just finding time to even just eat or just like grab food at some point. Because, I mean, it just takes, you know, we're doing all this conditioning and all this running, and just finding the time just to sit down, just to like relax, get some homework done. That was the biggest part for me, just time management wise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, go ahead, Alan.
Question that you probably can't answer on air, but I'm going to ask anyway. Does NIL play any major role into like your like? Do you feel like you have more control as a student athlete in the transfer portal? Like, do you feel like NIL gives you more control?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, yeah, it definitely has some impact. It kind of just depends on the player. But yeah, I would definitely say it has a good impact. Yeah, I wouldn't say, it just depends on the type of player you are. But yeah, you're right. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to say on the whole NIL situation. And
you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, but
don't incriminate yourself, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say it has some impact.
Your mom asked a question on Facebook. She said, "What do you think about Florida State and the amazing Clemson Tigers going to the Big Ten?"
Oh my gosh! I mean, good for Clemson, and I guess you could say FSU.
I just don't know if Clemson and FSU or does the ACC go away?
Yeah, I don't know. Or they just bring in teams from smaller conferences. But yeah, I don't know what happens at that point.
Because everybody's kind of moving to these super conferences. Yeah. I know we're jumping around on topics. I think Alan had to bounce too, so we still got Bailey on the line, I'm assuming. But what do y'all think? Yeah. You've got, it's kind of, the Pac-12 is kind of falling apart, even though it looks like they're getting close to reaching a TV deal here. But you've got USC, UCLA going to the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Texas, Oklahoma are now coming in the SEC, and there's been talks we're kind of moving to this super conference kind of structure for college football. Is it 2? Or is it 3, or is it possibly 4 now that the Big 12 has added so many teams? And, does the ACC round out that those 4 super conferences? What do you guys think?
Well, I still think the SEC is going to be, definitely the number 1 conference in all of football. It's going to run college football like it always does. The fans, the college experiences, I think that the Big 12 now losing Oklahoma and Texas, that's going to be kind of tough, kind of bounce back from. Did they add any teams since they lost Oklahoma and Texas?
Yeah, they've added 4 teams. You got UCF, 5. UCF, Cincinnati, Houston. Who else we got?
It's
BYU.
BYU, that's right. The Cougars.
And then you got Colorado.
Coming in
now with Dion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not near what Texas and Oklahoma have as a history of from college football. So, I think that conference might not be as strong as it was, and offensively wise, because they've always been a high scoring conference. So I wonder, losing those 2 big teams that are always top 25 teams, a couple of years back, they won it. They were QBU for a while, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. So I wonder if they're going to be able, with losing those 2 teams, to still carry that much excitement inside their conference.
Yeah, certainly a lot of realignment going on as we speak. But, and then, how do you guys feel about, conferences like the Sun Belt? We were talking about this, I think, on Monday or last week. You've got moving to these potential super conferences obviously is your Division I national championship. You still have Division I FCS, who has the playoff system. You still have Division II playoff system, Division III playoff system. But what do you think about these Division I FBS conferences that are in the group of 5? What do you think it looks like for them? Is there a whole nother competition or a whole nother playoff system for those particular colleges and groups versus the FCS and the FBS? Yeah. What do you think there, Bailey?
Well, me and Remy went to the Troy Navy game last year, and Troy, I think, finished at number 22 in the nation, and they were really, really good. I think they could have stacked up against really a lot of big-time teams. Their defense, and they had a linebacker that was number 1 in the nation in tackles. But a lot of those teams can pair up well, and I think, especially even UCF can play. Could always can play with guys, and
when UCF's now in the Big 12,
right? No, definitely going from being that mid-major FCS or FBS to FCS to FBS. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna do well. I think a lot of those teams can do well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the bias in me is going to want to say Troy can compete with a lot of teams this past season. Ranked 22nd in the nation. Obviously, I mean, there's exceptions with the top 10 or whatever, but I truly think last year Troy could have competed with a lot of these big teams in better conferences.
Yeah, they had a great football season last year, and it was I wanted to get up there for the Coastal game, being a Coastal alum, but you guys wiped us in September.
That was ugly.
Was Grayson McCall, I don't know if he was injured that time of year or not, but looking forward, I don't think we play you guys this year.
I don't think so.
No, not this season, but we do have another caller on the line. What was that name there, David? One more time. I'm sorry, I looked at it, but I forgot it. David is on the line. David, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing wonderful. About to be the afternoon here in the Central Time Zone.
Awesome. Yeah. I've been listening this whole time. I've been on the road, and I'm almost appalled by the fact that we haven't talked about the biggest tournament going on in sports right now, the Women's World Cup.
I did mention it briefly earlier, but I'm glad you said something, because were you extremely disappointed in the wee hours of the morning when USA tied Portugal?
I was absolutely appalled by the performance we put up today.
Yeah.
0-0 against Portugal is atrocious at the end of the day.
And you see in the 91st minute, they hit the post. They could have lost and got eliminated.
It's just unbelievable sometimes. And the way our defense is playing, it's unreal. It's like we're supposed to be the best team. We're supposed to have the strongest women in the world. And, the way we're going right now, it's not going very well. And I'd love to hear Remy's comments on this as well.
Soccer's not my,
if he knows anything about it.
Hey, yeah, you gotta take your put down where you stand.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the Netherlands won 7-0 against Vietnam.
It just proves that we're behind and we need to catch up. So I'm glad we were able to talk about this. Hopefully we can come back. I know we got second in the group, but hopefully we can still come back and win this thing.
Likely going to have to play Sweden, I believe, in the first round of the knockout stages, and Sweden's no slouch.
No, for sure. I'm definitely excited to see what happens with that. Yeah. Remy, what do you think? How far do you think the team's going to go?
Obviously, I'm born and raised American, so I'm going to say all the way.
USA all the way.
For sure. But do you know any of the players or anything? I know you're a big sports guy, but
no, I do not.
Pretty big. Not even Alex Morgan.
Hey, David, let me ask you this. Do you think, not you, David, David on the line, David's behind the glass too. Do you think that it's some of these players are, for lack of a better term, a little too old, and then some of our youngest players maybe not quite ready yet for the big stage?
No, I 100% agree. I just don't think the chemistry is really there, especially because the massive age gaps between some of the younger players and the older players. I just think this is kind of a transition year for us. So it's just not really looking good. Hopefully we can get it together, but I just don't think the chemistry's there. And I know players like Rapinoe and Morgan just don't have the athleticism anymore, for lack of a better word, really. Just not athleticism.
I know what you mean. Yeah, you're good.
The age is taking a toll for sure. So it's definitely heartbreaking to see as a big fan of women's soccer growing up. So
did you see what Carly Lloyd said after the game? That
I didn't. No, what did
she basically came out because the USA was like they were celebrating and dancing and taking selfies and all this stuff, and she's like, "Y'all just tied Portugal 0-0 and almost lost the game with a ball that hit the post." So I was glad to see her say that, kind of light a fire under these women a little bit.
And that's why I love Carly Lloyd. I think she's awesome. I think she'll be great, and I think she's really making a point to where we shouldn't be all excited for just a tie. And I think that speaks to a bigger term, to a bigger point to where I think soccer is kind of a representation of us being satisfied with just being average. And I think that has been translated into most of our other sports. I don't think we have that fire we used to have at the Olympics and stuff like that. It's really heartbreaking to see,
Yeah, I mean, we used to be, you get somebody and you get them down and you quote unquote step on their throats and we just would win, and that's what we based it upon. But we have to, we got our top of the hour break. It's a hard break coming up. Y'all can hang on the line if you want. We can keep chatting or whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, I'd like to keep chatting if I can on the way after this break. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back. It'll be the afternoon when we come back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball is going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Billbird Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Portable Buildings, and Park Pest Control.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Some sun the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the west-southwest at 11 miles per hour, and look for it to be 92. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 82. A mixture of some sun and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 90. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an eco-friendly, all-electric Kia EV6 that gives you the movement that inspires. You can live fully charged while saving now and down the road on fuel costs. Schedule a test drive today and explore the electrified Kia vehicles at Billbird Kia. You have to drive it to believe it. Now offering $7,500 EV lease bonus when you lease a new 2023 Kia EV6 Wind Electric all-wheel drive for 36 months. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology with a performance that minimizes the impact of our environment. Billbird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. See us today at 2435 East 15th Street or BillbirdKia@PanamaCity.com. We make it easy to switch to EV ownership and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Close-in lease based on a new 2023 Kia EV6, model number N5452. No security deposit required. $7,500 EV lease bonus not available for cash. Subject to credit approval, dealer participation, and vehicle availability. $49.99 due and signing for well-qualified leases. See dealer for complete details. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billbird Kia warranty. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/5/23.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
And the Braves are back in front.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As I always tell everybody, I think we're the only sports or talk radio show in the entire country that comes in the second hour with Afternoon Delight. Yeah. What movie is that from? Do you know?
No clue.
That's okay. David, you know, right? Yes, David Hayes.
Anchorman.
Yes,
Anchorman.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab some
Check it out
Afternoon Delight. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. As always, you can listen live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, and beyond. 101.9 along the Forgotten Coast. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. You can also download our free mobile app and inside the Google Play or the Apple Store. Just search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, South Oak Title and Closing. All your real estate transaction fees are virtually the same. South Oak's got 4 great locations across the Panhandle, one in Destin, 30A, Panama City Beach, and up there on Highway 77 in Lynn Haven. If you need the smartest, knowledgeable, best offices in town to get that real estate transaction done, South Oak Title and Closing is the one to get it done with. I know Beach House Sales and Development uses South Oak Title and Closing amongst many other of the top real estate companies. Go ahead, David.
Fun fact, Afternoon Delight, according to Caveman Rick, and then I backed it up with the old search it up, the Googletron.
Dang
there.
it, somebody else uses it?
Anchorman, or not Anchorman, Afternoon Delight is actually from Goodwill Hunting first in 97.
Fun fact.
There you go. Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting.
Look at that.
Yeah. I love when another Will Ferrell movie, was it Step Brothers, when he's interviewing with the psychologist and he's describing Goodwill Hunting. Yeah, that's so good. But I believe we still have we have Bailey and David on the line. We still got you guys on the line. You guys out there still?
Hello?
Maybe? Anybody?
Maybe not.
I'm not sure what happened, but they're gone.
That's all right. They'll call back.
Right.
Call back. You know the number, 850-215-6290. So, Remy, you are a Eagles fan. And there's a funny story I've heard of how that came to be. So I've got to hear it now.
I mean, so grew up younger days. I was in just south of Atlanta, Georgia. So we grew up, Falcons fans. My mom had some business with the Falcons. So we were Falcons fans, I guess, as like a house. My dad was a Lions fans, but house-wise, we were all Falcons fans. And I got old enough to where I started, watching sports a little bit. I didn't have really a team, quote unquote, and I was at a Taco Bell, which is like a sports bar, sports restaurant in Georgia.
So it's not the Taco Bell. It's not south of the border.
No.
Okay.
No. And I was playing a claw machine, and I won an Eagles stuffed bear, and since then I have been an Eagles fan.
And the rest is history. I always ask.
Thank the claw.
Yeah,
the claw.
That's right. Hey, I mean, it's funny. I was growing up in high school. You had the cooking and all that stuff too. And I had made I'm not a fan of them, but I had made a giant stuffed Florida Gators football. And I just thought about that when you said the claw. And in New Jersey, I had no idea why Florida. I probably just like the alligator on it. So I don't know. It's funny how we always talk, and we talk to a lot of our guests, like, how did you become a fan? I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I was born in the Bay Area. My dad's from California. I was born in the mid-'80s. He raised me as a Niners fan.
That's valid.
I grew up in the Northeast. Don't like the Giants, don't like the Jets, any of that stuff, but I'm a huge New Jersey Devils fan. I played hockey my whole life. And then, Beth's an Auburn girl. I went to Coastal Carolina and know a lot of people at Florida State. So I try to, it's funny how your sportsdom came to be.
Exactly.
And the claw system, the claw right there, is the Eagle stuffed bear.
Yeah, I still have the bear too.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to keep that bear.
Got it.
We were talking earlier, kind of going down memory lane, so to speak, when you used to come out to some of the junior camps out there at Bay Point. And, Jay's got a lot of those going on now. But you remember the night golf event.
Yep.
That was a good time.
Oh, my gosh, it was great times.
David, we did the full-on night golf. We set up, all the fairways were lined with the LEDs. The greens were lined with the LEDs.
I'd never be able to find my ball.
No, your ball lit up.
Yeah, they got to be within the fairway.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No, you got confidence now. You're good.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I'm joking. I'm being facetious. I'm trying, so the next time I go, I want it to be a ritual when I show up at Bay Point to play golf. Oh, here's 24 golf balls because...
Yeah, I mean, Steve listens to you, so I'm sure if he hears that you're coming out again, he'll have some golf balls there ready for you.
I love it.
But yeah, night golf was fun. We did, we started on hole 6, and then we played number 2, the par 3, and then y'all played 3, and then came back around. But hadn't done one of those in a long time. But those golf balls, I think those are the ones we had to flash the flashlight.
Yeah, you had to do something weird with the flashlight.
Yeah, you had to activate. Because I've played the ones where you stuck the glow sticks in them back in the day.
I've played one where if you tap it with your driver, it'll turn
lights
on
up
automatically.
That's cool. The glow stick ones were terrible.
Are they bad for your clubs, or are they irrelevant?
No, they weren't bad.
They don't really go very far.
No, they don't fly. Now the ones with the glow sticks would fly all over the day.
They don't go far.
Because you actually had to put
hole
glow
in the ball.
stick. yeah. Those weren't very aerodynamic, so to speak. But I just remember that. And we've talked a lot about Ricky Fowler this year as well. And we couldn't, I don't know when it was, but we were talking about how, like, can you remember another recent PGA Tour player in the last 15 years or so who has done as much for junior golf? So what was it about Ricky Fowler that kind of, I mean, you had the Puma stuff, you had the orange.
Stereotypical kid. I'm the kid that like says Ricky Fowler is the one that kind of inspired me. I'm the stereotypical kid. I mean, you know, growing up, you know, golf was in my family since an early age. So by the time I could walk, I was swinging golf clubs.
Does your dad still putt from everywhere, or has he learned how to chip?
Nope.
Okay.
We played.
Good to see that hasn't changed.
Last time we played Regatta not too long ago, and he was putting from 50 yards off the green. So
there's only one other person I know that does that, and that's Chris Marchand.
Yeah, I mean, anyways, from an early age, you know, obviously I used to fall asleep on my little TV box, you know, watching PGA. And, of course, the one person that caught my eye was a guy wearing all orange, wearing the crazy outfits. And as a little kid, that's what I kind of already dressed like, you know, day-to-day activities. But that's the kind of guy I wanted to dress like, wanted to be like, wanted to play like. And, I'm the stereotypical kid to look at.
When you say stereotypical, I mean, it's because of what Ricky Fowler, you know, represented. You know, he was a BMX guy, you know, kind of a little...
Doing all the commercials. And,
doing the commercials. He was very relatable, but he always spent the time. He still does it nowadays. He's the last guy out there in the dark.
Yeah, I love that.
So what do you think about his kind of resurgence this last year?
It's almost... I wouldn't say, because he never lacked maturity. You know, he never did ever at all. But it's more like he's serious. It's the serious factor. Like, he's like a family man now. He's all grown up now.
He's married. He's got a kid.
Still doing the same morals with the autographs. I think that's what's different. I think he struggled a little bit, you know, past few months. You know, he was getting, you know, up in like U.S. Open. He was getting up in all these tournaments, and then he just falls apart in the end. I think the most recent win was big for his confidence going forward.
It was crazy. He hadn't had a win since 2019 until this year.
Insane. But I think that's big for his confidence, and I expect, for him to continue playing like that come playoff time.
Yeah, who knows? He may win the FedEx Cup.
I hope.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Gosh.
On the flip side, what do you think about Justin Thomas? He is in jeopardy of missing his first ever FedEx Cup playoffs. He's currently 79th in the FedEx Cup rankings with one tournament left. He'll need to finish solo 18th or better in order to play his way into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a reverse factor. It's just Ricky's rising up.
They kind of switch places almost.
And is going back down. I love him. He's a great guy. It sucks to see that he's declining. Obviously, I still hope that finish 18th or better. I think he will. I think he's got the experience and he's got the confidence himself. He can. But it is sad to see. But it's just how golf is.
Yeah,
you have up and low.
That's
up
right.
And downs. So
you're always going to have up and downs unless your last name was Woods. He never. He had a couple downs, but
that was really
more
golf, not golf related.
Yeah, that was more self-inflicted, so to speak. What do you think about the Ryder Cup? Would you pick, if you're the captain, if you're Zach Johnson, these are the 6 guys locked in as of right now. You've got Scotty Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Brian Harman, Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele, and Patrick Cantlay. Max Homa is 7th, Cameron Young is 8th, Jordan Spieth 9th, Keegan 10th, Morikawa 11th, and Ricky Fowler 13th. Who are some of the guys you're picking as the captain? Because it's only 6 automatic now. It used to be the 10 and the 2, but now it's 6 and you take 6 more. Are you picking a guy like Justin Thomas, even though he's maybe not playing his best golf right now?
He's not playing his best.
Played in it before.
Yeah, he's got like the Ryder Cup. He's got the experience in it. It's not. It depends obviously how he I don't know. It could go both ways. You could take a newer guy that's new to this, or you could take a veteran. I guess call him veteran, Justin Thomas. But
he's played
could go. I don't really think it'll make a whole lot of difference, from captain standpoint. But I like to see JT as the guy there.
Yeah, it's a tough job to have to pick because there's so many factors. You're playing match play.
Yep.
You've got foursomes and 4 balls, so you got to get guys that are compatible with one another. But you need some of that leadership. And you said veteran. He's a younger guy, but he's played in 2 Ryder Cups, and that kind of Scotty Scheffler I think played in the last one. Wyndham Clark's probably never played in a Ryder Cup. Harman hasn't. I think Patrick Cantlay has. I know Xander Schauffele hasn't. Of course, Brooks Koepka. So you've got some newer guys in the mix as well, but you think? And here we'll go to this one. I'll get your thoughts on it because I asked everybody, what do you think about this whole Live PGA thing? As a golf fan,
it was going to happen. Yeah, it was going to happen. I think that's no surprise about that. it sucks. I mean, it sucks for the guys in the PGA that turned down all those deals, for to go to live just to go right back to PGA. I mean, it is what it is. It's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was going to happen.
Always about money.
Yeah.
Always about money. But yeah, I mean, and now you've got, guys like Phil saying that, none of the live guys want to go back to the PGA Tour. They want to keep playing. So like talking about them sanctioning them or penalizing them or fining them to come back to the PGA, it'll be interesting to see how this whole merger thing shakes out. But David, breaking news, the Braves acquire left-handed pitcher Brad Hand from the Rockies. What do you think about that?
Yeah, give him a little bit of extra depth, another lefty in the bullpen to go along with A.J. Minter. So, I mean, that, all the fans right now on social media are clamoring for, why aren't we trading for a pitcher and all that good stuff? Like, dude, we're 3 games above everyone else in the league
in the
right
entire
now.
league. Yeah,
and
don't fix what's
there's not
broke.
a ton of pieces that we have to trade. I mean, it's really, do you need a shortstop? We got Von Grissom for you. Like, that's pretty much what it boils down to, unless we get some of these guys, that aren't well known. It's not going to be a big name guy. Maybe they could make something happen for Verlander, but I don't see that happening. And again, we were talking about this off the air earlier, but for me, that's a guy that you're not trading for him to make a push to the playoffs. You're trading for a guy like Verlander for what he can do for you in the playoffs. The problem is last year he didn't have his greatest playoff appearances with the Astros, so I just don't know if that's the best move for the Braves, who just need a little bit more depth and not necessarily big names.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I'm feeling. And here's the biggest thing, man. You bring in some of these big name guys and they're a nuisance in the clubhouse, or they're not, mentally bought in with everyone, then you're in trouble.
Well, we talk about culture all the time on this show, and Snicker you don't want to mess up a good thing. And, even at the highest level in sports, I mean, we were talking about the transfer portal earlier, and, you said there was 3 guys that are still on the team from
100%.
And, how difficult is that for a coach to manage all these personalities coming in and out?
Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. I mean, obviously, NIL has kind of changed everything with the transfer portal about that. It's kind of not it's not the same going into a locker room the start of a year, freshman year, and being surrounded by a group of guys, getting super close, and then expect it to stay the same atmosphere throughout the course of your 4 years or however long you stay there. So kind of just have to work with what you got at this point. It just sucks to see. Because I love, good team chemistry, going out, hanging out, going out to eat and stuff. And it just sucks to see that, people just come and go.
And we had talked to Coach Cliff Ellis from Coastal Carolina, who's from this neck of the woods, not right down here, but he's from close by.
Yeah.
And I had asked him many months ago, how do you feel about the transfer portal and the NIL? And he's like, I absolutely hate it. He's like, I'm losing good players because they're going elsewhere to get paid, because schools like Coastal Carolina and stuff, like, they can't pay those type of people. So interesting, but it's the reality of the situation now, and you kind of got to run with it. And all that particular stuff. The Angels got the dub last night over the Braves, 4-1, and now that puts them only 3 games back in that AL wildcard race. So the move to keep Shohei continues to seem to be quote unquote paying off. Braves got a huge lead now. We were talking about the Baltimore Orioles yesterday, which is still an unbelievable story. A game and a half ahead of the Raves, but going to be interesting to see. You think, is Shohei pitching in this series?
Should be tomorrow.
Okay.
The businessman
special. There you go. 11:21 pitch. I believe.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Nothing like roasted out there in the left field.
Hey, man, bring your little suntan lotion, get your tan on.
Just get
there.
you a big brim hat. That's all you need.
Maybe you'll have no one sitting in front of you. You can put your legs up on the chair and everything, recline back, get you a hot dog, beverage. Have a great day.
Think about Truist Park too. It's really not that expensive.
No, it's not that expensive. It's actually one of the cheapest when you get into the beverages and the hot dogs.
It's just like the Falcons. When we went up to the Falcons-Niners game last year, I mean, it was like $20, and I had drinks and food for the whole family.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And you can get refills.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you have the element of people are going to buy it anyway, so you can charge whatever you want. Or
but does that feel good?
Well, to them, yes.
Yeah, to their pockets.
They're in the black instead of the red.
That's true.
But, for on the flip side of that, you could charge cheaper and sell even more stuff. I don't know.
The Niners
I don't own a business.
That's true. That's true. It's a lot of decisions you have to make. It came across my phone. I just like the name. The Niners signed defensive lineman Taco Charlton.
Yep. He's from Michigan.
Yeah. Of course you would know that.
Yep.
So,
I think so.
Taco's
Yeah.
from Michigan?
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I
he
have
is.
no idea. So let me see. Did a 1-year deal. He was originally drafted by the Dallas Cowboys back in 2017.
I'm pretty confident he's from Michigan.
Ooh, Taco? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, University of Michigan.
Yep.
46 games, 15
He was
starts.
good. Yep.
19 sacks in those 46 games.
Yep.
What a name, Taco.
I know, Taco
Charlton. Of course, yeah. What are the odds? I wasn't even going to read that, and then you knew he was from Michigan. That's.
I heard the word taco. I was like, oh, something Taco Charlton related.
And then you were talking about Taco earlier when you got your bear, your Eagles bear.
yeah.
Your Eagles bear. I want to jump into some more NFL stuff when we get back from the break, but we got a couple minutes. What do you think? Eagles going back to the Super Bowl?
It's rough. 49ers obviously could be right there. Just quarterback situation, kind of just decide there, Trey Lance or Brock. But
don't forget about Sam.
Yeah, that's true. You can't forget about Sam. I like Brock in there. I like him. I think he was really good before he got injured against the Eagles, sadly. I mean, thankfully, me being an Eagles fan, you know, it worked out for us. But I don't know. It's tough to say. You know, I think what they did in the regular season last year was we look at the record and it was great, but their schedule was just super easy. You know, Eagles now got a whole new schedule.
Well, anytime you play the Cowboys twice in 1 year, it's going to make your schedule a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. You know, free wins. But,
there you go.
But yeah, I think it just kind of depends on how they do in the regular season with these big name teams that they're going up against now, which they didn't go against last year.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. It's hard to say.
New coordinator.
The bias in me is going to say they do. They make it
well,
back.
Of course, you got to, but you don't want to jinx it either
exactly.
at the same time.
Yeah,
but
knock on wood.
It's certainly going to be interesting. A lot going on. We're getting there. For 30 days to the kickoff. Not really 30. 30 is to the actual week 1 of college football. That first game there, I want to say, is in 23 or 24 games when Notre Dame is playing Navy over there in Dublin.
Ooh.
That'd be a fun one to go to.
That'd be cool.
A little Irish football. Yeah,
Dan Patrick will be there.
I heard that this morning. He sounded excited, too.
Yeah, I would be, too.
I would be.
That's nothing.
Irish football in 2 ways, Notre Dame and you're in Ireland.
Exactly.
I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
Yeah.
Never had the chance to go to Europe yet.
FSU Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Next year, right?
Yeah.
Here we go. Can we get press credentials for that one?
I don't know if they would say it's close enough regionally speaking, but you could always try.
There's just a big body of water, as Jay would say, the big pond in between us.
I mean, you can also start like a GoFundMe on here. Send Ryan to Ireland or something.
Yeah, we got a report. Oh, man, I'd love to go to FSU. Will be Georgia Tech. Yes, Michigan. Your dad texted in for Taco Charlton.
Yeah.
What a great name. What a great name. When we get back, I'm going to break down, as we got Remy in here with us, some of these divisions and over-under win totals and that kind of stuff. And, awesome to hear about the Ricky Fowler. We've been talking about Ricky Fowler a lot this year and the impact he has. And hopefully he'll continue doing what he's doing. But you are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
Out of the truck bed this morning with a bone dry bottle of Jack Ice pouring. Damn, she got some nerve when she kicked me to the curb. Guess you could say I got what I deserve.
Set your alarm clock to wake up with the Coach Hales Show on ESPN Northwest Florida. In-depth local and college sports from expert insiders and a dash of controversy.
Can be deadly.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
Nothing says good morning like a drunken human alarm clock.
You're live from the J. Michaels studio.
We all know he loves the Florida Gators, but that's okay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I can control the world.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Some sun the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze coming out of the west-southwest at 11 miles per hour, and look for it to be 92. Tonight there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 82. A mixture of some sun and a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 90. This weather is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
Are you ready for Panama City's best pizza? Then check out the new Guru's Pizza 786. They don't do just pizza, they also serve wings, pasta, calzones, salads, sandwiches, and more. Guru's Pizza 786 has 50 plus Indian and Italian pizza varieties. They're open Monday through Thursday until midnight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery are available. Guru's Pizza 786, 7806 Front Beach Road. Call 850-588-5055. Better quality and better taste.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. A lot of injuries have been, I wouldn't say a lot, there's always injuries in training camp, but some higher profile injuries. A couple more that we hadn't talked about. Obviously, we talked about Ramsey and Burrow last week, but don't know if you saw Zach Moss broke his arm in training camp. He's the backup to, obviously, to Jonathan Taylor. And, what do you think about the whole Jonathan Taylor situation?
I mean, he's another one of those guys we talked about earlier, with the running back situation. He obviously had that good year, 2 years ago, and then it's just the system he's in with being on the Colts. It's rough, and obviously they had that. I think it was 2 days ago. NFL put out that the Colts are looking to place him on injury reserve or something.
Yeah, the PUP. Yeah, and then
he came out. He came out and said he had no idea what they were talking about. So it's interesting what's going on in there. It's kind of it's eerie to think about. You know? But that's. I think he's a great talent. It's just kind of just off the field type situations that are going on.
Yeah, and you don't know how much, and Jim Irsay is just he's kind of taking the reins, so to speak, from Dan Snyder a little bit and is saying all these, things in public, talking about a player on your football team. And, the running backs have been an interesting topic of conversation this offseason for sure. But now losing your, I know they got Evan Hull and a couple other people and some some rookies that they drafted, but to lose, what happens? Jonathan Taylor, is he going to be playing or not? Is he going to be on the team? Right now he's on the PUP list, and then Zach Moss breaks his arm. So now, are you starting to look at a guy like Zeke or Dalvin Cook? Because Dalvin Cook and Zeke, I mean, everybody's talking about the Jets, and that's your uncle's team, right?
Yep,
he's a big Jets guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he excited about Aaron Rodgers? Of course he is. And he covers the San Francisco 49ers.
I think he's going to 2 games this next year.
Nice.
Yeah, Raiders and I can't remember the other one.
Going to the one in Vegas?
It might be Vegas. Oh, it could be the Cowboys. I think he might be going to Jets Cowboys.
Oh, okay. That'd be a fun one. But yeah, it's, does Zeke, do they need somebody now?
I think it's going to be a situation with Saquon. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to stay. I mean, it's hard to he's going to pay all these fines. I don't expect him to sit out a season with that much talent. I think if they want to sign someone like Zeke, I think that makes sense. Dalvin Cook, I feel like he might lean towards New York with the Jets. Yeah, that's what my
he spent a lot of time up there this past week.
Yeah, that's what my gut's saying. Still hasn't signed. It's what my gut's saying. But I mean, anything could happen. Season's already been crazy as is, and it's not even started yet.
I know we still got 36 days till the kickoff of NFL, which I cannot wait for.
I know.
It is finally right around the corner. And then Tim Patrick, he's a wide receiver for for Russell Wilson and the whole Broncos crew out there. He popped his ACL completely in half yesterday. So that's a brutal injury too. If it pops and then it rolls up, so he's gone for the entire season. And a couple of, like I said,
it's the last thing Russell Wilson needs.
Yeah, I mean he's their number. I want to say he's their number 2. He's the Corton's in there, and then Anthony Richardson had a nasal surgery, but I don't think that's really going to impact anything. He's out for a couple days. Then Kenneth Walker from the Seattle Seahawks, he's strained his groin, so he's going to be out indefinitely until that kind of gets healed up, or he'll be out for a couple weeks, minor groin strain. And then Zach Chambonnet is out indefinitely with a shoulder injury. Garrett Wilson has an ankle sprain. So just you've seen a lot of stuff going down, that's for sure. But it's a brutal sport.
Yeah. Sad reality of it.
Yeah, and what do you think about Joe Burrow's injury?
It was scary at first. Obviously, seeing the video of him getting carted off the field, having to get helped up. I mean, it's scary at first, but knowing that it's just a calf strain.
Yeah, calf strain.
Yeah, it'll be out
weeks.
for a few weeks. I mean, that's good to know.
Versus, I don't think Jalen Ramsey's eyeing to come back until December, even though he said he's going to beat it and he's going to come back early.
That's why they had to sign Eli Apple, which is interesting to bring Eli Apple into a locker room with Tyreek Hill. So that's a little. We'll see how that turns out during the season, but.
And then toe injury for Trayvon Diggs, Dallas Cowboys. Yep. Big talker there. And then Kyler Murray, unlikely to play for Week 1. Still nursing that injury, but it looks like that. ACL,
I mean, they're going to have a rough season as is. There's no need to rush him coming back and playing.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tough one there for the Carolina. I was going to say the Carolina Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about some of the division winners, or let's jump into over under.
Okay,
and I'll get your thoughts on some of these win totals here. I think it starts with it just kind of does it not alphabetically. It does some kind of interesting way, but it's going to start with the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
10.5.
I take the over. I think I could say it would be over 10.5. I think whenever they figure out confidently quarterback, if it takes a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I think whenever they figure that out and confidently could build around play like their types of plays they want to run moving forward, I think they could get over 10.5.
Yeah, I mean they really should on paper.
Yeah,
I mean, and the over right now is minus 142 and the under is plus 116. So the Vegas certainly agrees with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an interesting one. You've got the Houston Texans 6.5.
I'm taking the under on that one.
We got another. Yeah, the under right now is minus 140 and the over is 6.5. We do have a caller on the line, and it did say Kevin. How we doing, Kevin?
Hey, first-time caller, Ryan. Big fan of the show.
What's up, Kevin?
Good stuff. Hey, little Remy, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing
Ryan,
good.
I know it's a slow sports world sometimes in Panama City, but really, you have that Remy Graham on as your featured guest for 2 hours. I mean,
hey, we're just trying to support the local market. That's all.
Good to talk to you too.
A guy who actually I remember watching his first game, by the way, when he was playing at Troy. And hey, Remy, what was the name of that team that you guys were playing? Do you remember the name of that team?
The Mississippi College of Women.
Yeah, there it was. The Mississippi College of Women. It took Remy, I think you guys were up by about 40, and that's when they finally put you in the game with a couple minutes left. But
you hit a three, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I had it.
He did, man. He had a highlight video just in that game alone, so it worked out really well. So, how are you guys? Remy, you're sounding good, by the way. Ryan, you might be careful, man.
Hey, I'll be glad to have him whenever he wants to come in. That is for sure. I'm used to having Jay in here.
And by the way, it wasn't Taco Bell, Remy. It was Taco Mac.
Yeah, Taco Mac. Yep, my sister very much texted me about that.
Yes.
Yeah, when you got your little stuffed animal and became an Eagles fan. So, yeah.
Little stuffed animal. It was big stuffed animal in my eyes.
Which is good, though. But no, I think it's great, Ryan. I think what you're doing locally, and when I was recently in Panama City, listening to you guys and whatnot, I think it's cool to be able to do a nice local show and feature what I think is a great underrated sports market where you're at with all the college football and Atlanta being close and everything else. So
yeah, absolutely. Really cool. Big. We're having a lot of fun anyway, that's for sure. And Jay will be back indefinitely until Thanksgiving now that he's got through his summer season teaching kids and all that fun stuff. So we like to joke around and have a lot of fun. But since I got you on the line and you cover San Francisco sports, is it Brock's job to lose?
Yeah. I mean, we actually had our morning show this morning was down at the facility for training camp, and we had Brock Purdy on this morning for 20 minutes. And, yeah, it's his job. I mean, he's still getting back into the full swing of things, but he said his arm feels great. He's being semi-limited. He's not participating in every workout. He gets an extra day of rest opposed to Darnold and Lance, who are taking a lot of the snaps. But yeah, he's definitely the quarterback for that team, and I think a lot of it is just because Shanahan's comfortable with him. He knows the system, and the big thing he talked about is just how hard it is to learn Shanahan's playbook. And Shanahan is very much a system coach. You know, if you can find a quarterback that can understand the system and do what Shanahan wants to do, then it's going to get done. And that's what Purdy did. You know, when he came in last year, as you know, Ryan, being a huge fan of the Niners, I mean, he ran that offense exactly the way it was supposed to be run, and he got Shanahan's loyalty for that, and so he's definitely the starter going in. Now, with that said, Trey Lance actually has looked pretty good of late. Well, I wouldn't say that. I say he's coming off a really good practice, but he's definitely, according to a lot of the people that have been covering camp on a day-to-day basis, he looks a lot better than he has the last couple of years. But you would think he would, just because he's been in the system. But of course, he's got injury issues, and then you got Sam Darnold, as well, and. Being a Jets fan and watching him play, I just don't see how he's ever going to recover, because the Jets do have a tendency to ruin quarterbacks. So I don't know. I think we'll wait and see. But it's definitely Purdy's job to lose. But also, as you know, Ryan, Shanahan quarterbacks have a tendency to get hurt every year, as what happened last year. And so I think they want to go in with at least these three quarterbacks, so that way if they have the same bad luck they had a year ago, they'll be able to, at least have competent backups to come in and not be in the situation they were a year ago, where even a couple of the players, Fred Warner was on today talking about it, where a lot of the players feel like if Purdy didn't lose his, didn't have the injury last year, and was it Johnson? I try to put this game out of my mind.
Yeah, Josh Johnson. Yeah, that was
Johnson,
terrible.
And have no quarterback. I mean, they don't want to be put in that position again, and they still to this day feel that if Purdy wouldn't got hurt, they were going to beat your Eagles, Remy, and win the Super Bowl.
Without a doubt.
I just don't see that happen.
Oh, when you have plays where you don't actually catch the ball, and then you're smart enough to run in line and snap it, it changes everything. It changes everything.
Yeah, I know, right? Have you ever seen a game? Come on, Remy. I've never seen a game in my way too many years of watching NFL football where literally a team did not have a quarterback, where literally they could not throw the ball because they had no quarterback. Even Purdy said today they called 2 screen passes in that game, and he was in absolute pain on both those screen passes.
Yeah, you don't have a connected UCL, and you're throwing screen, but you still got to throw it.
I know, right? He said, the players were like, all right, Purdy, you're back. That's awesome. Let's go. And Purdy's like, dude's like, stop looking at me. I can't throw the ball. But hey, that was last year. This is this year, and obviously there's high expectation for the Niners, and I could very well see a Niners/Jets Super Bowl. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my
Jets.
gosh.
Interesting. I knew you're.
Actually, I'm kidding. I'm kidding on that. I don't know. The Jets always find ways to screw things up, so okay. I'm not ready to go all in on that yet.
A lot of big storylines going into this year, that's for sure. While I got you on, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
Is it Brandon Ayuk's big? This is the year where he really becomes the dude. Just everything I'm reading in training camp and all his off-season stuff, he seems like he is ready to have that breakout year. I was telling somebody the other day, I think he's going to be one of the most underrated draft fantasy football picks in the wide receiver this year. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. All reports are that he's basically the best wide receiver on the field. Now you got to remember, he was in Shanahan's doghouse a couple of years ago, and took some time to get back in. But in some ways, I think that woke him up. And overall, basically from a route running standpoint, making plays, walking downfield, he seems to be the complete wide receiver right now, and they're all loving him. And now you put Debo in the mix, and if Debo can come back and return to the way he was a couple of years ago, now you got yourself a really, really strong 1A and 1B, wide receiving core there. And then obviously, you can't forget Kittle. So, I mean, the weapons are there. I mean, that's the thing. And that's another reason why Purdy, I think, is the favorite for quarterback, because he doesn't have to do much. Just get the ball into their hands, and they're going to create. And so, you got big Trent Williams, a Hall of Famer, up on the offensive line. I mean, offensively, as long as Purdy can stay healthy and play at the same level, and even better than he did a year ago, I think the sky's the limit for the Niners. I think if it's an Eagles-Niners championship game, I think the result, and sorry, Remy, could be a lot different than it was a year ago.
No, I could see that being different, but I mean, we'll never know.
Nick Bosa, how close are they getting to getting this deal done? I know everybody wants it. They're just trying to work out the details.
Yeah, it's Lynch was talking yesterday, I believe. I think it was, and he addresses it head on, and he says he doesn't like the situation. John Lynch, the general manager, he doesn't like the situation, but he understands it. And unlike a lot of teams, the Niners seem to, they keep it close to the vest. And I don't think Bosa is the kind of player like Debo was a year ago, where he's requesting trades and removing, the new thing that all players seem to do nowadays when they get pissed at their team. They take their team off their Instagram accounts or Twitter accounts or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen with Bosa. I mean, look, here's the reality. He's the best defensive player in the NFL, and they're just going to have to come to an agreement of, like, okay, how much, and he's the best player in the NFL. You take whatever the highest contract is right now for a defensive lineman and you increase it. And I guess the question is, how far do you increase it? And but there's no worries. They feel like Wade Bosa is and how competitive he is. He's going to come into camp in good shape, and he'll be ready to go. And Lynch, I mean, he seems very, very confident that deal is going to get done. And and obviously that's going to be great news for what is going to be a really good defense as well.
Yeah, and hard to believe how good their defense was last year. Could even be a little bit better this year with the addition of Hargrave and taking him right from the Eagles there. But how has he been doing in training camp? I haven't really read a whole lot or seen a whole lot about him, but is he fitting into the system pretty well?
Yeah, that's the thing. Same thing here. There hasn't been a ton of reports coming out and what we've seen of him, but yeah, everybody feels like he's mixed in really well with that group. Again, what's going to benefit him is having Bosa come back. Bosa makes, like Fred Warner talked about that today, a lot of his job is a lot easier when Bosa's at the defensive front. So, but yeah, I think the coaching staff, from what we've been able to hear, have been happy with the way he's assimilated himself, within that environment.
Any drop off from Robbie Gould with Jake Moody now, the front runner to take the kicking spot on the roster?
Well, a lot of people were a little ticked off when they drafted a kicker as high as they did.
Jake Moody's good, though. Don't get that mistake. Jake Moody's good.
I know. Michigan, he's good, but he is a kicker. So, I mean, not until we've seen good college kickers do they get in the NFL and they have a meltdown. I think they're saying the right things. They're confident. I think, honestly, Ryan, we just got to wait to see how he kicks some games.
Yeah.
Is he going to be cool, calm, and collected? To me, that's one of the biggest storylines of the exhibition, the preseason coming up for the Niners is watching him kick and see how he is in a game environment, even though those games don't count either. But, the benefit is what they're saying is you got to remember Robbie Gould couldn't kick a field goal more than like 15 yards. So, he's accurate, but he didn't have a lot of range.
Yeah.
And so with Moody, instead of going for it on that 35, 34, 33-yard line that maybe they had to do with Gould because he wasn't as accurate 50-plus, now you can trot Moody out there to kick that long field goal and you get yourself points. I'm going to be curious. It's so weird to say. You must have a really good team if your biggest concern going into the season is your kicker. So it'll be interesting to see, I think, how he does this preseason.
You had mentioned Deebo Samuel earlier, and how you don't really see too often an NFL guy, especially, come to the realization, look, you didn't have a great season last year, and he realized it, and he seemed to really put in the work this offseason. Sign of maturity there from Deebo to kind of recognize, where he was last year versus where he was in that first-team All-Pro year.
Yeah, I think so. And wide receivers, too, let's face it, they're team players, but they're also the biggest me guys that are ever going to be on a football field. Look at me, throw me the ball. They want the ball every single play, and that's what you want. And with that, I think Deebo realized what happened to him last year. Maybe he wasn't in the greatest shape. He was nicked up. Obviously had the contract issue and the meltdown over that. I think he realizes, look, man, I gotta go out there, and he sees Ayuk coming on, and then, quite frankly, I think what really hurt Deebo's production too is McCaffrey. McCaffrey can do what Deebo does. So every time you pitch the ball to Deebo, that's one less touch for McCaffrey. And so I really think you're gonna see a much stronger and a more productive Deebo to team up with Ayuk, and then obviously McCaffrey there as well. And the good thing too is if Deebo can stay healthy, McCaffrey, as we know, he has a tendency to get hurt as well. The two of them can maybe take some of the workload off each other, so they can both, maybe avoid the injury bug that they have a tendency to get, more so McCaffrey than Deebo.
Yeah, definitely. One last question before we got to hit our break because I got you on the line. Ronnie Bell, does he make the 53-man roster? It's a Michigan question. That's why I was hitting you with it.
I know. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't been able to be down there at camp enough to kind of see how it's going, but I think it depends too. They do like him, but there's a lot of other wide receivers too. But I think I think the preseason will be big for him. I think that's the other that's the other thing. When the players that are trying to make the roster, they're the ones that are going to get most of the reps. So if he can have a really strong preseason, I think that puts him in a spot that he can maybe make the roster, or worst case, maybe practice squad.
Yeah, definitely. Kevin, we appreciate you calling in, and hopefully
Kevin.
we can do it a few more times when we get into the season and talk about your Jets and Niners over there.
Anytime, Ryan. I owe you. You hooked me up with Kid Rock tickets a few years ago, so I'm all in.
That's true, and we mutually love to cover the Niners. So
that's good. And I mean, are you going to play ball this fall or not? Like, I mean
good to talk to you too, Kevin.
Way to avoid the question, Remy. Good work. We'll see you guys. Love you, Rem. Talk to you guys later.
Love you too, Kevin.
All right, thank you, Kevin. That's Remy's Uncle Kevin.
Yeah, that's
we
my
know
uncle.
him. A huge, biggest Kid Rock fan in the world that I know.
That.
He's been to I don't know, David. I think he's been to over 40 Kid Rock concerts.
Insane amount.
Yeah, not even exaggerated.
Yeah,
there,
it's not
that's for sure. But one more segment left, Remy.
All right.
You talk about whatever you want to talk about in this last one. You're listening to the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
This is so funny, these storylines. 3-year title drought for Alabama. Are the young guys going to be the ones that bring them back to the promised land? If you didn't win a national championship in 3 years prior to all this Alabama and Georgia stuff, it was not a big deal. Right now it's national championship or bust.
Yeah.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. Visit their feed store at the Youngstown location for all of your livestock feed, plumbing, electrical, lawn, and garden needs. They also carry local Chautauqua wines, baby chicks, and a full line of poultry supplies to get your chicks started off right. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Keeping your kids safe is a full-time job. Whether it's putting on outlet covers, installing child gates, or gluing down your priceless face. So Duracell made one part of childproofing simple. Our lithium coin batteries are the only ones coated in a non-toxic bitterant to help discourage swallowing. Your kid is safer, and you've got one less thing to worry about. Or glue down. Duracell. Engineered for more. Available in 2032, 2025, and 2016 sizes.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, perfect. This is another Beth special, David. This is another one. She plays all the time. It is the 1st of the month, the 1st of August. And we are only 30 days from the start of college football and 36 days from the start of NFL football. We are in August. When you hit August, then it's really time.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame game, next Thursday, I think coming up.
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yes,
Holy
sir.
crap.
Yes,
August
sir.
3rd?
I believe so. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
Either way, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, which reminds me.
It might be this Thursday now I think about it.
I'm going to have to get to work on that because we're going to air it right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. But Keith called in yesterday, Keith Emick, and he was like, I'm ready for the Browns and the Jets Hall of Fame game. I'm like, oh, dude. So I went and looked it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure August 3rd. Oh, man. Yeah. Let me double check that, make sure I'm not leading you down the wrong path.
I could look it up as well, but as always, we are your home for the Atlanta Braves here in ESPN Northwest Florida. Trying to get back from that 4-1 loss last night. They play again right after the afternoon underdogs. Coverage starts at 6 p.m., first pitch at 6:20. I believe Spencer Strider is going to be on the mound tonight against Sandoval, trying to even the series at 1-1. Angels are trying to make that run for the wild card and prove that Shohei was meant to stay. And again, Atlanta Braves are sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Dave & Buster's, PCB Hobby, and Gulf Coast Aquarium. I got another caller, and I wonder if it's David from before.
It probably is.
David, you back on with us?
I am back on. Yes, it's great to be back. Sorry about that.
No, you're
I couldn't keep our discussion going, but I was listening, and I did hear that. Remy, did you say you scored against a women's college team while up 40 points?
Yep, I'm assuming that you listened to Uncle Kevin.
Uncle
coming
Kev.
in.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning. I mean, at first you said
You realize it's
single
not
player on the
actual
women.
women that we're playing against, right?
Remy, I was talking.
Sister Mary's from the blind.
It was just, I think at first you didn't know a single player on the biggest women's sports team in our nation, and now you're scoring against a women's college? I don't know. It's a little concerning to me, but, I want to move away from that. I want to focus more on actual sports. I don't want to talk about you, let you take up all this time when I can talk so much about what's going on in sports today.
All right, well, what are you going to talk about then?
So, I'm thinking about, have you guys been watching the WNBA recently? Or is that just not?
Yeah, I'm going to leave this
You
one
have not?
alone. No, I haven't been watching as much as I should.
Yeah, well, I know you said you weren't a big NBA guy, so I kind of get that. But, Remy, it seems like you've been into the NBA a lot, so have you been keeping up with the WNBA at all this season?
Vaguely. I mean, not a whole lot.
Vaguely?
But
Okay, yeah. So I heard you said Jordan Poole is your favorite player in the NBA. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Yeah, so who would you say is like a close comparison to Jordan Poole in the WNBA? Because, I mean, if he's your favorite player, you got to know some of his close comparisons to the second biggest basketball league.
I don't think you can compare Jordan Poole to someone in the WNBA. At least not that I've seen.
Wait. Why is that? Why can't you compare them? I'd like to address this.
I just don't see. I haven't watched enough WNBA to see someone that I could say confidently is comparable to Jordan Poole in my eyes.
Yeah, good save. I think it seems like you were referencing something, but I'm glad you said that.
All right,
I think Jordan's full game is great.
Who's your comparison then to the WNBA player?
I would definitely say the way Brittany Griner's been playing, especially as Remy Grant.
Brittany Griner's like comparing to Victor Wembanyama. That's not even a good comparison.
I mean, I don't know. I've just been watching a lot more, and the way she's been playing today.
I think Brittany Griner has more dunks than Jordan Poole.
I thought she was like taking a break for mental health.
You named the most popular player in women's basketball.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I would definitely say Jewel Lloyd has been playing really well, and I'm really confident that she can really step it up this year. And I think she's been a great ball handler, and I think the way she's moved, she's very shifty like Jordan Poole, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's fair. Jordan Poole's pretty shifty.
What team does she play on?
She's on the Lynx, actually, yeah.
Nice. Like the old Augusta Lynx. It was a hockey team. Fun fact there.
Yep, exactly.
I know you know about the
I like that.
ECHL.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that much about that, to be honest. But, Remy, you said you're from South Walton High School?
Correct.
That's awesome, dude. I love that school. What would you talk about a little bit about their basketball team? Like, how would you rate your experience on that team?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great time. Obviously, getting into basketball, my freshman year. The locker room changed a lot throughout the course of the year. We had some people transfer in after COVID year. I had a great time there. I got nothing bad to say about it. It was a fun experience. I met a lot of great people, and I wish we would have done better, district playoff wise. But it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, well, who would you say was like? What would you say about the team chemistry on that team? Like, I feel like you seem to have a close connection with some of your teammates. So what would you say about that?
I mean, still close with all of them. Talk to them a lot. A lot of them, we all were, I say, fairly close. Nothing bad to say about team chemistry-wise now.
Really? Awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think I went to a few games last season, not this season, just because you weren't on the team. And so I've been a big fan of your game, and I followed your Troy stats. Weren't you at one point leading that team in three-point percentage?
Correct. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. I think that's a great statistic. And what about FAU? You looking at playing there?
We'll see. You know, obviously nothing's off the table yet, but, you know, they just had a great season. You know, 2 guys that entered the draft pulled back out to play again, which makes sense. You know, they want to make a run. But, yeah, you know, anything could change, you know. Can't complain.
Yeah, no. And, I mean, listen, dude, I wish you, at the end of the day, I wish you the best on your team. And hopefully something works out to FAU. I'd love to see you keep playing ball. I think you're a great player.
Thank you.
You still got a lot left in the tank. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just glad I got to call
19?
in.
Yeah, 20.
You better have a lot left in the tank.
I mean,
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I'd be scared if you didn't. But, yeah, I'm just, it was good talking to you. It was nice meeting you, Remy. And what was the name again of the host? I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll forgive you. Steve.
Okay. Steve, got you. All right. Well, thank you, Steve, for letting me on and talk a little bit about the other side of sports that people don't really talk about a lot. So it seems like you did know a lot about the Women's World Cup, which I was impressed by. No one's seen more than me. So.
FIFA, anytime the World Cup's around, it's always a good time, that's for sure. Hopefully the women can get their lives together and just run the table in the knockout round.
Yeah. I mean, as long as that championship game is as exciting as Argentina-France, I'm going to be a happy man. So.
Whew, yeah, that was good. That was good. That's
Great game.
And then
All right.
next year you got the Olympics. David, thanks for calling in,
Exactly,
man.
so.
Take care.
Yeah, no problem. You too.
Take care, David.
David seems to be a big fan of you, Remy.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I do like how he was kind of like trying to get you to mess up somewhere or the other.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was, going to go down that path.
Yep,
oh, man. That'd be a fun segment, though. Comparisons of current NBA players to current WNBA players.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a whole lot, that's for sure.
Who would the equivalent of Brittany Griner be?
I mean,
like maybe a Karl Anthony Towns or something?
Yeah, that's kind of the closest you can.
Joel Embiid? No, maybe.
Maybe so.
Maybe.
I'm just kind
Gotta
of
be a little stronger in the paint, I feel like, if you're going to be
that's fair.
Joel.
That's true. Well, she is dunking all the time.
Yeah.
All the time?
I don't know.
I mean,
More than
everybody else. More than everybody else.
More than usual.
I don't know how many people are throwing down.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is a good one to say she plays like.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know. Who's your basketball team then?
I'm more of like it's more of a
root for players.
It's a player thing. So my favorite player, Poole. So now I guess Wizards, but my all-time throughout has been Kawhi. I love Kawhi Leonard. You know, when he was back on the Spurs or the Raptors, now Clippers. If he could stay healthy, I mean, sky's the limit on what the Clippers could do with him and Paul George, and get Russell Westbrook a ring that he finally deserves. But you know, ultimately, I guess Wizards would say confidently is my team for this upcoming season.
So it just seems like more. I don't know. You know, you've got Michigan, you've got your Eagles.
Yeah, it's more like all over the place.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm all over the place too.
Yeah.
But is it me or is it nowadays you see more people rooting for players than you see
100%.
teams?
Yeah.
What do you think the reason is for that?
I think there's just so many more exciting players in today's game from all different aspects. So like people start watching them early because now this day and age, high school gets reported a lot more. Like high school basketball gets reported a lot more.
Yeah.
So these kids that are like younger, they watch these high school people. Like I know people that go watch up the EYBL AAU bracket up in Miami area. They'll go watch those types of players and stick with them through their college to the NBA, and they'll just start following them and liking them there, which I think might be the reason behind it. Obviously, there could be other reasons, but I think it's just the way that high school basketball is getting reported now.
A lot more coverage.
Yeah, a lot more coverage.
And all that stuff. We were talking about something earlier, and before the show even started, and I had said something about you think because of social media and all that.
Yeah, that's probably a good reason, too.
What were we talking about? Because that was an interesting topic. I forget. Right when we walked in, I said, do you think it's more because of social media and all those particular things?
What were we talking about?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But yeah, so... Man, I was going to ask you a good one, and it just left me. It left me. David, you got anything?
About what you guys were talking about?
No, whatever you... Oh,
I was not
I remember
involved.
what I was going to ask him. The Go to Goats.
Okay, yeah.
Ends tomorrow, right? So
Yes, sir.
David in the Afternoon Underdogs did this awesome sports movie competition.
Oh, wow.
They landed 64 sports movies and did it like an NCAA bracket, and it got all the way... Yeah, and
That's interesting.
It's tough because, you know, what they did with the 64 is they picked them live on the show.
Okay.
That way there wasn't too much, because you're going to miss movies, and it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
part of it. But the final four ended up being Caddyshack and The Waterboy versus Happy Gilmore and the entire Rocky franchise.
Well, yeah, like Caddyshack versus The Waterboy, and then Happy Gilmore versus the Rocky entire franchise.
Yeah. Who do you think the championship ends? The voting ends tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow
at noon. Yeah. Who do you think advanced out of those?
Say what? I think Happy Gilmore advances.
Okay.
I think Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies of all time, sports wise. And what was the other?
It was Waterboy.
Happy Gilmore beats Rocky in this case, and then the other one was Caddyshack and The Waterboy.
Now, have you seen Caddyshack?
Yeah, I have seen Caddyshack.
Okay. I would be disappointed in you.
I've definitely seen Caddyshack. I'd say Caddyshack.
See,
I think Caddyshack.
You just made me so, and it didn't advance. But I was on. I was on Team Caddyshack. Very
Caddyshack's
big.
Good.
It's just
Waterboy's good too, but Caddyshack has got more. I prefer watching that over and over again.
So you're going between Waterboy and Happy Gilmore. Yeah, not even a question.
Yeah,
not even a question.
I think that's what the listeners are voting right now. Is Happy Gilmore by about 50%. So.
Yeah.
By about 50%?
I mean, I'm not going to give you the exact percentage, so by about 50%.
By about, so they're up 100 to 50?
Yeah.
Something like that? I don't know.
Somewhere close to that range.
Keep voting.
Yeah.
And check out David Hayes' Facebook page to find that link to vote, because it ends, tomorrow at noon?
Yeah, tomorrow noon. Well, we might even run it, since it's the final
all the way
one,
until your
just
show.
run it till 4:20. Because it's going to be different. It's going to be me and Adam Golf tomorrow, and I'm not going to have any of the other people that I've had doing this entire thing with. And so it'll be me and Adam.
What time are you doing it?
I'll probably do it at 4:20 like we always have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, right here?
Yeah, it'll be right here. Yeah, we're not at Dave and Buster's tomorrow.
Maybe I'll swing by and try to influence something.
There you go,
you still got to do it if it's within the 55, 45?
Yeah, if it's 55 to 45%.
But there's only 2 of y'all, but then you do the text message.
Yeah, then that's the funnest part. I can never,
That's why I'll just bust through the door. I'm like, here's Johnny.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll pick one.
That'll work for me, man.
That was a great competition. It's cool. I mean, you start thinking about all these sports movies. It's just funny how 2 comedies ended up being because there was Remember the Titans, and you've got all these, the Karate Kid.
Well, I think when it comes to sports movies, obviously the Karate Kid, all those types of motivational quote unquote movies.
Yep.
Nothing beats out just comedy, because anybody knows comedy at the end of the day.
And it kind of gives you that feel good and all that
exactly.
particular stuff. But it's been fun hanging out.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And the quick 2 hours, and anytime you're in this neck of the woods, and we'll definitely be rooting for you and seeing what direction you're going in.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I mean, I remember watching you do drive, chip, and putts and playing golf as a little kid, and it goes by quick. That is for sure. That is for sure. Don't forget, Atlanta Braves tonight, 6 p.m. coverage starts, 6:21 pitch against those Los Angeles Angels as they are trying to even the series up 1-1. Tune in the afternoon underdogs 4 to 6 this afternoon right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be back tomorrow.
Awesome.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
That's going to be the toughest award to get, is the